I borrowed my best friend's phone for directions. My name was saved as, "Don't text him drunk." The moment I saw my own name saved in my best friend's phone, my entire world went silent. I had only borrowed his phone for a few seconds because I was lost and needed directions, but one accidental glance at his contacts revealed something I never expected to see. My name wasn't saved normally. It wasn't saved as my name, a nickname, or a joke between friends. It was saved as, "Don't text him drunk." For a few seconds, I couldn't understand what I was feeling. Was I angry? Was I hurt? Was I embarrassed? The person I trusted more than anyone in the world had secretly labeled me like I was a problem he needed to protect himself from. I forced a smile and handed the phone back, but inside, a question kept repeating in my mind: why would my best friend think of me that way? Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, forgiveness, and second chances, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who believes in true friendship, leave a comment, and subscribe to Kindness Corner for more emotional stories that remind us about the power of understanding. My name is Daniel, and I had known my best friend, Ryan, since we were teenagers. We met during the hardest years of our lives, when both of us felt like we didn't belong anywhere. Ryan was the person who stood beside me when my father passed away. He was the one who sat with me on a cold hospital bench and reminded me that life could still have good moments, even after the worst days. Over the years, our friendship became like family. We celebrated each other's successes, supported each other through failures, and shared secrets that we never told anyone else. I thought I knew everything about him. I thought he knew everything about me. But that one contact name changed everything. The strange thing was, the label wasn't completely wrong. Years earlier, I had struggled with loneliness after a painful breakup. I started making terrible choices. I would go out drinking whenever I felt sad, and sometimes late at night, I would send emotional messages to people I missed. Most of those messages were sent to Ryan. He never judged me. At least, that's what I believed. I remembered those nights when he would answer my calls even when it was 3 in the morning. He would listen to my confused thoughts and remind me that I was stronger than my pain. But now, seeing that contact name made me wonder if all those moments had secretly become a burden for him. Maybe I wasn't his friend. Maybe I was just someone he had to manage. For the next few days, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Every conversation with Ryan felt different. When he laughed, I wondered if he was pretending. When he offered help, I wondered if he felt obligated. I started creating distance because I was afraid of hearing the truth. Then one evening, Ryan noticed something was wrong. He invited me to our favorite small coffee shop, the same place where we used to sit for hours talking about our dreams when we were younger. At first, I wanted to avoid the conversation. I wanted to pretend I never saw anything. But the hurt inside me had grown too heavy. I finally asked him about the contact name. Ryan looked surprised, then lowered his eyes. For a moment, I saw sadness on his face instead of guilt. He explained that years ago, when I was going through my darkest period, he had saved my name that way because he was worried about me. He said he had noticed that whenever I was drunk and emotional, I would send messages blaming myself for everything that went wrong in my life. He wasn't trying to insult me. He was trying to remind himself to be patient, to not ignore my calls, and to make sure he responded with kindness instead of frustration. Then he told me something I never expected. He said the reason he never changed the name was because every time he saw it, he remembered the promise he made to himself, that he would never let his best friend feel completely alone. Those words broke something inside me. I had spent days feeling betrayed by someone who had actually been protecting me. I had mistaken love for judgment because I was still carrying shame from my past. Ryan admitted that he should have told me about it, and I admitted that I should have trusted him enough to ask before assuming the worst. That night, we talked for hours. We talked about my struggles, my fears, and the things I had hidden because I didn't want people to see my weakness. I realized that real friendship wasn't about finding someone who never saw your flaws. It was about finding someone who saw them and stayed anyway. Months passed, and my life slowly began to change. I stopped using alcohol as a way to escape my feelings. I started taking better care of myself. I focused on healing instead of running away from my problems. Ryan was still there, but something had changed between us. Our friendship became stronger because it was built on honesty, not just memories. One day, I borrowed his phone again to check a message. Out of curiosity, I opened my contact. The name was different this time. It simply said, "My brother." I smiled because I finally understood something important. Sometimes the people who love us the most are not the ones who say perfect things. They are the ones who quietly stay beside us when we are struggling, even when we don't realize how much we need them. If this story touched your heart, please support this video by liking, sharing, and subscribing to Kindness Corner. Your support helps more emotional stories reach people who may need a reminder that they are not alone. Before the story ends, I want to ask you something. Have you ever had someone who stood by you during your hardest time? Share your story in the comments. Your words might inspire someone else who is going through a difficult moment. Because sometimes, the people we think are judging us are actually the ones fighting the hardest to protect us. And sometimes, the greatest gift in life is not having someone who sees us as perfect, but having someone who sees our imperfections and chooses to stay.